Edu-preneur's journey, how she built her schools and went from an educator to an entrepreneur. Note, our guest is even more special this evening because this is happening near the end of the school year, right? Some of her staff has been out with COVID, so she has to live with them, all that jazz. Other policies and things are happening. Kids are being kids, and all that essentially manifested itself into laryngitis, which got worse an hour before our show. Yet, Rupali Sharma has still decided to join us. Instead of canceling, she wanted to show up for you, for us, and for those who, really need to hear her story to help inspire you on your entrepreneurship journey. And I, for one, am totally grateful for that. And for those, if you're also feeling the love, by all means, react below with some hearts just for that. Or if you're on the Facebook, put a little care emoji. Or if you're listening to us on YouTube, like it with a like us, like the video, right? Show Rupali some love for being here, and even through the laryngitis of the day. So what we will do is try to keep the episode short, though. And as someone who, I am known as a business defibrillator because I help bring life back to my clients in their business. So I'm not about taking someone's life away or taking their voice away, right? It's all about taking care of yourself first. As an educator, Rupali is all about taking care of everyone else but her. So we're going to help her practice her self-care and try to end this episode short, but still giving you impactful information about her journey to continue to motivate you and inspire you and give you the tips and tricks that she used to also be successful in growing schools, okay? Literally building up her own school, okay? And we might end up doing a part 2 version of this, perhaps during the summer or some other time during the year, so that Rupali does not have to use up her voice this evening because the school year is still going on. So tonight, Rupali Sharma will be sharing with us her journey from educator to an educator and entrepreneur as founder and director of the TEC Think, Explore, Create STEAM-based schools. For those who are not familiar with what STEAM means, it means science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And so this episode here is her founder's journey. So before we go into even more detail, so Rupali, what inspired you to start the school? Let's start.
So, well, I went to a Montessori school as a child, and I was in India. And when I moved to the US, I was looking for a Montessori school for my son. He was only about a year old back then, and I was able to found a Montessori co-op with my neighbors, and we found soaking in the information. We would put out new lessons, new materials, and they were just taking it all in. So that's fascinating for me to see as a mother. And we looked for a Montessori school, and I found that in all the Montessori schools, the idea about STEM was missing. And so I started an after school program to support STEM education for my son and us, with all the other students. And then when my son went to college, I at the same time I was laid off from my school that I was working at, and I thought, okay, here's an opportunity. I've always dreamt of starting my own school with the STEAM program integrated in the curriculum. So it's not after school; it's for everybody at school while they're at school. And so that's how I decided that I would start the school.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Essentially, from a mother's care for her son to an educator's just fire to, educating the right way, and now her own school and making that happen. And so, love life. For those, again, listening and tuning in, STEAM is science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. Okay. STEAM. And I know some of you are likely new to our show here this evening. So welcome. You are listening and watching Entrepreneurship is a Marathon live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube with yours truly, Vanessa Zammy. That's me. If you didn't already figure it out, I'm known as a business defibrillator. My clients call me that because I help bring life back to them in their business. Specifically, I consult micro businesses and entrepreneurs on how to revive, grow, and scale their business without burnout, sleep deprivation, or overwhelm. And I do that using 3 electric shocks, 1 being my direct demeanor, 2 being my genius strategic mind, and 3, last but certainly not least, my holistic 5 phase approach where I'm looking at your business's wellness, marketing, sales, leadership, operations, as well as the wellness of you as a CEO. And as always, in every episode, what has been your win of the week? A big part of the wellness of you is acknowledging your wins, because entrepreneurship is a marathon. It's very easy to get caught up in the, you're running the race and you're just like, oh, my thighs hurt and oh, my feet and oh my God, I don't think I can continue anymore. But take the time to acknowledge that maybe you just finished 2 miles, you just finished 5 miles, you just finished whatever it is that you just finished. So what has been your win of the week? If you are watching us on the replay, I want you to scroll to the bottom of the YouTube channel, hit subscribe, and keep scrolling, and then type it up in the comments, what's been your win of the week. If you're watching on LinkedIn or Facebook, then type in the comments, what has been your win of the week. And when I say week, obviously we're doing this show on Tuesday. Those of you who are watching the replay are likely going to be watching even more later on Tuesday night or on Wednesday morning. So it's the middle of the week. Think about the last 7 days. What has been your win of the week the last 7 days? We probably want to start with you. What has been your win of the week?
I absolutely love this question because, when you are in the middle of running your business, you are so into doing the things, you forget to look at the positives. And this question of, I always look forward to your question every week. What is the win? And I would say that these past 3 weeks, I've not been well myself. And then my teachers also had illnesses, and none of us gave up. I walked into my office and I had the teachers who were in the school looking at me, and they said, what's going to be our plan? And I said, we're going to sail on and on and on. And they just said, yes, we're going to go ahead. Everybody stepped in to do their thing. Nobody complained. Everybody just rolled up their sleeves and went to work. And we ended the school year strong, with a wonderful play at the end of the year with a graduation ceremony. And teachers, children, parents, everybody was happy. So I think my win is the community that we have at our school, and that everybody rallied at the end.
I love it. I love it. And going on with that theme of support and team and the people around you, right, as a business owner, I'm going to share my win of the week is essentially my chief of staff. I love her. And you know what I appreciate the most is when she just takes up something and then learns it quickly and then implements it very effectively. That is what I love the most. And she wrote this thing for us for our business for our, in the next couple of weeks, our one of our articles coming up. And I was just like, what a vast improvement from a couple months ago. So I just love my chief of staff. I cannot oh my gosh, she's amazing. With that being said, and she's also moving to Australia, but she's still going to work for us. That's great. Yay, remote work. Yay, love it. Yay. Okay. With that being said, what has been your win of the week? It might be a team member. It might be something personal in your life. Maybe you just moved. Maybe you just found out you're going to have another child and you actually want that child. Maybe you, you just had a date night celebrating an anniversary. What has been your win of the week? Share it in the chat or in the comments, essentially. I keep saying chat. I was just on Zoom all day. In the comments, social media wise, in the comments. With that being said, who is our special guest, Rupali Sharma, right? We got a little taste of her in the beginning, but who's this Edu-preneur? So Rupali Sharma trained as an architect, was inspired by Montessori education when her son was born. She followed her passion education to start Imagination Unbound and the T.E.C. schools, Think, Explore, Create, two educational organizations to offer educational programs that lay early foundations for creative thinking and problem solving through hands-on learning experiences. Her training as an architect taught her to create the big picture for large projects and identify detailed steps for bringing projects to fruition. Rupali applies this technique in business management too. Leveraging the Montessori philosophy, Rupali works with organizations to create the ideal work environment, to set the stage with resources, and challenge individuals to achieve high standards. Rupali is a mentor to many women and coordinates a meetup for women entrepreneurs and professionals in Worcester. So, Rupali, you're phenomenal now, but I know you probably faced some challenges. What are the top 3 challenges that you faced in your journey?
Well, I would say that, one of the first challenges was, I was out of a job that I absolutely loved. And it, I had to look at it and say, this is an opportunity for me. So that was one challenge, was to look at the something that came across as bad news and turn it around to say, how can I make this work for me? So that was one challenge. When we started our school, we had only 2 months to find a place, to find a location, um, to get students and get our licenses, get everything that we needed to establish a school. So that was the second challenge. And the third challenge was marketing. How are we going to get the word out? Those were my top three challenges. And something that I found was that mitigating these challenges was my attitude, my team's attitude. One of the things we did early on was we said, okay, we are going to look for a place. We knocked on every single door that we thought was available. And when we came to Trinity Lutheran Church, I was really delighted to see how they were welcoming. They opened the doors and welcomed us with open arms. They helped us grow, they helped us start. We were really fortunate with the Worcester public school system, where the superintendent helped us navigate the paperwork and helped us establish our school. And then in terms of marketing, we've tried many different things. We've done word of mouth, we've done flyers. We would go from school to school. We've partnered with several preschools.
Mhm.
We've also offered pre-COVID. We used to do an hour of free STEM at different preschools every Friday. So a teacher would go and offer free STEM classes to preschools, and we develop partnerships. The whole idea is that we're not just starting a school, but we are building a community. And so we have community partners in Worcester. We partner with the Worcester Art Museum, and our art classes are at the museum. We partner with students from WPI for a robotics program. We partner with a group called Crocodile River Music and do African drumming with them. We have a puppeteer who comes and spends time with us from upstate New York. And so, by having complementary programs, we were able to offer something really unique to our students and to the families. And just taking advantage of the institutions in Worcester has been helpful.
I love that power of, like, that's such a great example of being resourceful and efficient and a go-getter. And I use those three words because I remember when I was going to write my book and I asked my friends, what is my skill sets? And one person was like, you're resourceful, you're efficient, you're a go-getter, right? And those are essentially the skills that are needed as an entrepreneur. And so, it was very much like Rupali had the vision, and she still has, obviously wants more of these schools around, right? And made it work, right? Got the team together, got the support that she needed around her, right, to really make that vision come true, right? And so, actually, with that being said, what would you say, along with the team, along with the partnerships that you eventually created, and you essentially like saw them, right? You saw the opportunities and you took advantage of them, and that's amazing. What other things would you say helped you in your journey? If you were to say maybe top key things, maybe 2 to 3 things, or 1 to 2. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, your journey as an entrepreneur is not a solo journey. It is a team. You have to build your team. And that was something I learned early on when I had moved to the US. My son started going to a preschool, a Montessori kindergarten program. And up until then, I was the only provider for him along with my husband. And so when he started going to school, that was the first time I had time for myself. And one day I just forgot to pick him up from school, not because I was busy, but I was asleep. I was resting. And I was just so embarrassed. I went to the school, I was apologetic. And when I walked in, I saw he was happily building his pink tower, and his teacher was sitting in a corner doing her work. And both of them seemed very happy. And I was so apologetic. And she said, "Don't worry about it." And she said to me, "You need to build your tribe." And that was a big lesson for me, because often we feel that we need to do it all by ourselves. But we have certain strengths, and then we can bring people along who have complementary strengths. So, one thing that I really take pride in is our team. We have teachers, advisors, parents who come with different backgrounds, who have diverse experiences, and they bring their talents to the school. And so I don't feel that I'm doing it all by myself. We have a great team. So that's one thing. The second thing is just being honest and really looking at things as they are, being focused on what is and where you need to go, having that clear path in your mind, and then just doing every single day, getting to do a little bit, chipping off at it a little bit. I think those are the two things that really have helped me along the way. A good group of, when you run a business, you're not doing a business with buildings, you're not doing business um, with inanimate things. You're doing business with people and treating people well, whether they are people on your team, your customers, your vendors, your partners. I think that's the other thing, is just be honest, live, have your integrity.
I love that. You're doing business with people. And something you mentioned before then, right? So it's the first was the team. And then you mentioned about, it's taking one step at a time, right? It's like, how do you run that race? One step at a time, right? But being intentional about what those steps are and then being consistent following those steps, right? Really helps you along in that journey. And then, of course, then number three, right, is then really thinking about the relationships, really thinking about those relationships that you're building around you and knowing that you're doing business with people. A lot of people like to keep it separate. They're like, no, I'm just looking to get money. Like, what are people? Who are people? What is that? And no, you are in a business. You're doing business with people. I love that. I love that. And what is I know we're going to wrap up a bit here to check the voice. What is the future of the TEC schools?
Well,
Like, what are you doing to help support that growth?
so So when we started our school, the vision was to have multiple schools. So it's called the TEC schools, Think, Explore, Create. The idea is that when, all throughout history, humans have really used their faculty of thinking, of thought, to explore the environment around them, analyze tools, analyze the environment around them and make something out of it. And the world that we live today in is from that ability to think, to explore, and create something from imagination. And that's the goal of our school, is to continue making contributions to civilization. And so we'll have multiple schools. Currently we have an on-campus school in Worcester. We just finished 6 years of our school. And we also have an online school. So thank you. So our online school was, it came about through the pandemic. And we have a platform called the TEC Connect platform, and we offer full-time school. We also offer complimentary lessons on that platform. So now we have two platforms. We have students in Worcester. We also have international students. We have students from India, Singapore, Canada. During the pandemic, we were able to experiment with the online platform. So I think going forward, we're going to be establishing our preschools. We're going to be continuing with our current location, serving children kindergarten through grade 8, and then also establishing an online presence, because now education is available to everybody around the world. Anywhere there's internet.
I love that. I love that. And I mean, I also appreciate notice how, Rupali's also, she's aware of the trends. She's like, how can we still stay relevant, as a business, also as a school, but also as a business as well too, and helping to shape that mission. And yeah, I was like, 6 years, folks, 6 years.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Only 50% of businesses make it past the 5-year mark. I'm on a mission to help make that essentially all businesses make it past the 5-year mark. But it's always great to see another business owner who makes it past 5 years. Love it, love it, love it. And last but certainly not least, probably, what would you say is just one advice, one key takeaway you want edupreneurs or someone who's maybe aspiring to perhaps start a school, right? Or, do something in changing the education space around them. What is one advice that you would give them?
I would say follow your passion. There are going to be good days, enjoy them. There are going to be bad days, get up and get to work.
Like days with laryngitis. Yep.
Just you cannot just give up. And it's your passion, your energy. And certainly, I have days where I feel, wow, this is tough. But you just get through the day. Time is linear, it's going to end. You're going to have the next day, another beginning, another chance. So just stick with it and go with it. I think
Or we're losing her a little bit. Maybe that's just me. But thank you, Rupali, for joining us here this evening. Rupali Sharma can be found on LinkedIn. You can also connect with her on Facebook. She's a member of our Skyrocket Your Business community in Facebook, Skyrocket Your Business with Vanessa Dami. And you're welcome to connect with her there as well, too, and on LinkedIn. And just yay for all the work that you do. Rupali, thank you so much for your service to the community and for your continued service in education and changing that, ensuring that, you know, students, children's families are getting the support that they need so they can be better members of society as well too. So if you are, so thank you so much for joining us here this evening. As we wrap up the show, especially thank you for joining us, even with laryngitis and just that's just feel the soul, feel the heart. If you were loving what Rupali was sharing with us here, remember to react on the Facebook, react on LinkedIn. And as we wrap up the show this evening, if you are an entrepreneur looking to continue on your entrepreneurship journey and you're not ready to give up on making more of an impact and an income more than what you are doing right now, then I invite you to schedule a complimentary consultation with me, Vanessa Zami, at power.vzami.com. And these calls are an opportunity for me to better understand what's happening with your business or what's not happening with your business, and then help you get a clear path forward on what makes sense. It may be working with me, it may be someone else, or maybe none of the above. I had a call this morning essentially with someone, a magazine publisher and editor. She thought she needed me, but really she had everything that she already needed: the plan, the steps, and the time to implement them. And our call ended in 15 minutes. And I was happy to just say, you got everything that you need. You don't need me. Do you, right? Someone else yesterday, though, a loan officer who's ready to make a pivot in her business and be more strategic about her lending business. And in her case, we're going to work together on refining her strategy in a way that allows her to implement those steps more effectively. And our call still ended in 20 minutes. So her solution might be different from what you need. I customize my solutions based on who I'm connecting with because you're different. Your life and your business is different, right? But if you want to build up that school, if you want to make your school grow, if you want to, you know, make that business that is really true to your passion succeed, then as Rupali had mentioned, follow your passion, right? And you are doing your thing for a reason, and you know that it's not your time to quit. So make sure you're getting the support and help that you need so that you do continue to move forward and skyrocket. So if you're ready to accept help in growing your purpose-driven business, then I invite you to at least check out what help even means. Right? Again, it might be with me, it might be with someone else, it might be no help at all, right? But ultimately, I invite you to a complimentary call at power.vzami.com. The link is at the bottom of the screen. If you're watching us on YouTube, then scroll to the bottom of the description where you will see the links as well too. If you're looking to understand more about my holistic approach, if you're just like, I'm not ready to go on a call, Vanessa, that's intimidating. I just want to see you on the screen. And if you're looking to just understand more about my holistic approach and our 13 steps that we use to help our clients grow their purpose-driven business without burnout, sleep deprivation, or overwhelm, then you can set up time on my calendar. You cannot set up time on my calendar, and instead join us in our next masterclass to go through that process, an hour and 45 minutes of jam-packed information. And unlike my peers, we do not sell anything at the end. And so you'll find the schedule at yourbusinessrevival.com. So join us there. And thank you, Rupali, again, our special guest, for joining us this evening, even through the laryngitis, and sharing the beautiful advice and information with our listeners and audience members here. As well, you can check out Rupali, check her out on LinkedIn or in our Facebook group, Skyrocket Your Business. Or essentially, if you know someone in Massachusetts, in Worcester, who has a student there, hey, check out the TEC Think, Explore, Create STEAM-based school and online platform as well too. Rupali, anything to add as we close out for the evening?
well, you mentioned about mentoring and getting advice. I think that's such a big part. When I started my school, I have a board of advisors, and I also have mentors, and that was invaluable for me because while I was doing the day to day and looking just at the track, I had the advisors and mentors kind of look at the big picture, make sure that I was looking out for pitfalls, I wasn't making mistakes that I could avoid. So Mentors, if you have them, they're great. I would say, just look for the mentors around you. People love to help.
I love that. I love that, Rupali. Thank you. And on that note, we're going to end our discussion. If you're looking for a mentor, if you think that might be Vanessa Zambi, the business defibrillator, you're welcome to schedule time at power.vzambi.com. But whether it's me or someone else, get the help that you need, okay? Continue on your journey because entrepreneurship is a marathon. And we look forward to seeing you again next Tuesday live on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube. Chat with you soon. Toodles.
Thank you.